I look at all of the effects work and everything that was done in King Kong, and I'm over here going, why not give King Kong the praise that it deserved?
King Kong did.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
It changed. It changed how we look at monster movies and horror films and how we shock value.
But what I mean is, most film schools and things like that, they put Citizen Kane on such a high pedestal, and they put King Kong on a lower one.
Well, that's because sci-fi, horror, and
monster films,
they didn't get really the respect they deserved until the Godzilla movies were popular. They didn't really get really good until late 70s.
Yeah.
When they were shown on Circuit TV.
Yeah. It is really a sad thing, that a lot of these films are still kind of, considered the lower class or the tongue-in-cheek kind of films because of the genre that they're from. And personally, I think that a good film is a good film regardless of what genre it's from.
But a lot of these movies, the whole entire Godzilla franchise is like looking at a time capsule.
Oh, yeah.
You see the evolution of these movies as they go along to the peak where they're always good for the time. They're always one step ahead, but next year they're a step behind, so they got to step it up.
Yeah. That, and even though there are, like with any film series, there are a couple of stinkers, and none of them are, and, even they're not all perfect. Overall, you've still got what is essentially the longest, to my knowledge, the longest film series in existence.
Well, James Bond, maybe.
No, actually Godzilla came out before James Bond, so...
Oh, I mean in terms of number.
Oh, yeah. But either way, you've got...
we're talking about monsters here.
Yeah, and in that sense, you've got, one of the longest running film series in existence, and last I heard, it shows no signs of slowing down.
Well, it has slowed down recently.
Yeah. Whereas with the other two, they pop in, they pop out. They pop in, they pop out.
It's always in the wake.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But overall, those three films are very iconic and very unique in their own right. And at least, and once someone, at least sees all three of those films, they are unforgettable. The images stick in your head.
Let's talk about Americanization. Godzilla, it's no secret that Godzilla and Gamera both have alternate cuts.
Yeah.
But you just think about Godzilla. I think either cut is good.
Oh yeah.
One's a flashback. One's chronological.
Yeah.
But I think the flashback really helps the film.
Yeah.
Because whoa, what did that?
Yeah. It's
the first thing we see is Tokyo in waste.
Yep. I've seen both cuts of Godzilla, and both films are very serious, very powerful, and both films manage to
tell the story.
Yes, they tell the story, and they are just...
It's not butchered either.
Right. It's shown with the seriousness and the respect that a subject like that deserves.
Because the original thing was it's an actual disaster.
Yep.
Gamera seemed a bit of a worldwide threat. Because from what they could tell, that nothing could destroy it.
Yeah.
They don't have an oxygen destroyer handy.
Right.
And with Raymond Burr in the original one, I think he did a bang-up job. They integrated him so well.
Yeah, that it's you couldn't really tell that he wasn't supposed to be there.
Well, if you
he wasn't.
If you look closely and you watch, I've read the commentary, or I've heard the commentary, They really do point stuff out, like when he's in the hospital. If you look at the shirt, it's a different cut. It's a different pattern, but it's pretty close. But for the time, you're not supposed to see these movies multiple times.
Yeah.
But back then, people thought he actually went to Japan.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's so well integrated because they use the same. They used the same film as they did, I think.
Yeah.
Well, this was 1954, then 1956 when these films were out there, but there wasn't a lot of imports, so we thought this was something new. And actually, they actually showed the original Godzilla, the uncut stuff, in America, and then they also showed the R version in Japan about 2 years after, in 1958. And they were kind of like, it's like a new depth to the movie.
Yeah.
It's like when you see Blade Runner, then Blade Runner Director's Cut, then the final cut.
Yeah, it offers a different perspective.
Yeah. Kind of like Star Wars, the special editions. Even though that we're going to get some hate with that, I grew up with the special editions, and I always thought the Snorlax pick looked a little bit better with the beak.
Yeah.
It added more creativity to the creature.
I gotta admit, I grew up with the originals, and when I saw that the special editions were being made, I watched them, and, in all honesty, I didn't think that they were that terrible. It's like, okay, there's some stuff that was added in, there's some stuff that was added in. Pretty much the only real complaint I have is the whole Jar Jar Binks surviving to the end. That's really the only complaint I have. And even then, it's just because I like to bash on Jar Jar. It has absolutely nothing to do with the film.
With the Gamera, his Americanization, it feels. I think it works on this dimension. With some of the characters in America and the characters that we see in Japan. I think it works because we're seeing it from so many angles. I think it feels a little bit more of a worldwide threat. I think it works that way. This is 1966, not 1954.
Yeah.
And actually, Gamera was shot in black and white on purpose.
Huh.
Yeah, it had color back then. Ultraman,
Yeah.
same year, had color.
Yep.
Batman, the movie, had color.
Yep.
It was shot in that on purpose to copy Godzilla.
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of monsters were coming out of the woodwork at that time.
Yeah.
But I think I look at it this way. It's a pretty... Then again, actually, as the series progressed, we actually see a lot of American kid actors in these movies.
Yeah.
Like, Destroy All Planets had one. Or Gamera vs. Virus. Or Gamera vs. Virus. Gamera vs. Giran.
Yeah.
There was an American actor in there. He spoke Japanese. And there was an American actor in Godzilla vs. Zigra. Godzilla vs. Zigra. Gamera vs. Zigra. There was one there.
See, we're still wanting to combine these films.
No, I just think it actually had a little bit more depth. Apparently,
Yeah.
the reason those kids were there, apparently it's like he's a friend of the family.
Yeah. So like, hey, here's
Maybe his parents next door are from America or something.
Yeah, it's one of those cases of, here's my foreign cousin. I completely speak your language.
Well, maybe they live there.
Yeah.
I've seen some people from Japan that live here.
Yeah. But what I mean is, I love, that is the one cheese factor of a lot of the later Godzilla films and a lot of the later Gamera films that you just have to take and accept, and that's the whole...
Yeah, don't overthink it. It's a movie.
Right. It's the whole, why are the lips not matching the words? You shut up and watch the monsters fight. It's fun.
I wonder... Yeah, and Monster Zero, I wonder how that was like, considering Nick Adams doesn't speak a word of Japanese.
No.
I mean, but I wonder, because I have the alternate cut where it's just, where it's the Japanese dub, and he speaks English the entire time, he's not dubbed over. I wonder if it, from what I've read of the commentary, apparently that wasn't that awkward considering they're actors. They know their lines, they don't necessarily have to know their lines.
Yeah.
Back then, I think they were a lot more professional, but
Yeah.
we'll never really know.
Yeah.
Actually, Nick Adams ran a campaign to get an Oscar, and he lost. But
Ah.
he was so sure he was going to had an Oscar party waiting at home.
Oh,
I don't know.
But anyway.
But in terms of rivalry, all three characters have had a rivalry with another, but we'll never see King Kong versus Gamera because that wouldn't make a lick of sense.
I figure it like this.
But then again, we've already had a King Kong versus Godzilla, so
I figure it like this. I will flat out never say never on anything. For all I know, all three of these film franchises could be bought by the same company, and at some point we could get a triple threat going.
yeah, but I don't think the King
As
Kong.
bizarre as it would be.
They could remake King Kong versus Godzilla, but there wouldn't be a need to because we've already done it.
Right.
That movie made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But Godzilla vs. Gamera, I think, would be a worldwide event.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, people have made fan films, people have done fan comics, fan fiction, what you
Fan
name it.
fiction, fan
And-
art, fan everything.
But I don't really know. I think we'll just have to look forward to Death Battle to do
Yeah.
that. They could do.
Oh yeah.
It'd be an interesting fight considering they'd be so evenly matched.
Yeah. They could always do what they did with one of the fights and have it end in a draw.
Yeah.
Or they both blow up the entire world.
Yeah, although I don't agree. I understand the Superman versus Goku thing,
Yeah.
but I love Goku too much.
Yeah.
But Superman, I don't like Superman that much because he's just so overpowered.
Yeah.
He's essentially a god.
Yeah.
But there's been a poster I saw of Superman versus Godzilla. That's so stupid.
Yeah. That one would be far too awkward.
Yeah, there were a couple of Godzilla Dark Horse comics.
Yeah.
Those were kind of interesting. There was actually some Gamera comics too. I'm just saying, these things, either medium, but there's one thing, I've never seen a Gamera video game.
I don't believe
There
there
isn't.
is one. At least not here in the United States.
I think people have made a Mugen though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are interesting.
Yeah. Those are always fun to see.
There was a couple of Godzilla fighting game for the Famicom.
Yeah.
That looked interesting.
Yeah. I've actually played it on an emulator. It just reminds me that I need to grab a controller for my computer because trying to play it on a keyboard is a pain in the ass. Other than that, it looks fun.
Yeah, but I'll stick to my Godzilla Save the Earth. It don't get. As Stan Bush said, it don't get better than this.
Yeah.
But in terms of Godzilla and his character,
Yeah.
he's he's a father.
Yeah.
He's an environmentalist,
Yeah.
and he's a hero villain.
Yeah.
He seems, and he's an old man. He's an old man right now.
Yeah.
We're approaching his 60th birthday.
He's like, he's essentially the Clint Eastwood in frickin' Monster Series. I may be in my 90s, but damn it, I'll still kick your ass.
He's still alive.
Clint
Oh
Eastwood?
yeah. He had that speech a while ago.
Yeah, which no one got, but if they did...
I got it.
Yep. But that's a completely different subject altogether.
Gamera, an environmentalist as well, a friend of children,
Pseudo-father. I don't know, are you
what do you
still...
call a dead father? Oh, dead dad, I don't know. I can't call him a deadbeat dad, because a deadbeat dad is still alive.
No, he's just a dead dad.
Yeah, I guess. But in terms of I think Gamera's more of a tradition, lineage, legacy sort of thing than Godzilla is.
Yeah.
Godzilla is always Godzilla.
Yeah.
They always find some weird way to bring the character back.
Yeah.
Like in Godzilla Raids Again, that was pretty much... They don't really touch upon it, but the feeling I get is that he regenerated.
Yeah.
But it's an evolved regeneration.
Which, if that's the case, then...
Well, that's how they explain it in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. The bones will remain, but I think that the DNA was still around, and if there's one cell left, it can come back into something else. That's probably why he was gone for a while, it was to regenerate.
See, whereas with Gamera, the only time we've really, the times we've seen him regenerate were times that were...
Well, he can heal.
Yeah. Can't really full-blown regenerate, unfortunately. I think if you, blow him apart, he's done.
But Godzilla also has to, regroup too.
Yeah.
If he gets damaged enough, he has to regroup. Well, that doesn't mean he won't come back. I don't. This thing about Godzilla, he doesn't really use that to his advantage like Wolverine does.
Right. But then again, it's been proven that, all three of these monsters can be killed. It's just which one goes down the easiest and which one takes the longest.
King Kong goes down flat.
King Kong is right up there with the 98
Bullets.
Godzilla.
Bullets from the 1930s kill him.
Okay, wait, I do have to admit, that is kind of sad. When the 98 Godzilla at least took missiles and frickin' torpedoes and is more of a badass
Well,
than
it
King
wasn't
Kong
Godzilla.
is.
It's not actually Godzilla.
Well,
it's
I know.
just an irradiated Komodo dragon.
Irradiated lizard.
Komodo dragon, yeah.
But still, like I said, it's sad when the 98 one's a tad more badass than you. But
Actually, when that movie came out, there was talk about King Kong versus Godzilla remake. But since Peter Jackson didn't want to get off his ass fast enough,
okay,
he fell through.
and that's probably for the better.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah.
We've gone on long enough.